Hi, I'm Michael Hill. I'm a forest firefighter for the United States of America. Welcome to my worldwide journey to explore man's fascination with wildfire. Australia is a big country, and fires have been around a long time here. I can think of nowhere else where fire mixes as much with people as it does right here in the Strait of Victoria. Victoria occupies just 3% of the Australian continent, but in the last 150 years, half the economic damage done by wildfire has been done right here in the state of Victoria. There are major fires every summer in Victoria. However, every 10 to 13 seasons, conditions come together just right. There's droughts, high temperatures, fuel buildups, and these winds like this that cause fires to come together just right, and they cause fires to just roar across the state. This is truly the place where fire meets the people. What makes Victoria so special in my eyes, though, is the way people have adapted here to live in such a fire-prone environment. Every summer in Victoria, over 60,000 Australians come together to fight fires. They're a special breed of people, and I want you to meet them. The NRE Parks Victoria deal with fires in the forest and other natural resources.
In these areas, obviously with their elevation, they're fairly prone to lightning strikes. Most of our fires are started that way. We don't have many fire bugs, people going around starting them just for the pure joy of it. Mostly from lightning, and as you'd probably be able to tell, in this sort of rugged areas, it's pretty hard to get access to those fires once lightning has started them, so we want to get onto them as fast as we can. For people on foot and in vehicles, it could be hours before they get into a fire, and that's where our hover exit and rappelling comes into it. We get in there as close as we can, find a rocky outcrop or a low-lying area. In the Grampians we have a lot of low, heathy areas, it's sort of low-lying shrubs. We would go in, the pilot would hover usually about 1.5 metres, 1.3 metres above the ground. And we have certain procedures. We go out, we exit the helicopter, and we don't jump out. We have to ease out slowly so the chopper doesn't wave around everywhere. And yeah, everyone comes out with equipment, usually probably 2, maybe 3, even 4 times the helicopter might do a few circuits. In Victoria, there's only 2 hover exit crews. That's based here in Halls Gap. On the other side of Victoria we have the Rappel crews, and basically they're there because it's taller timber. You can't hover exit. The helicopter can't get low enough to the ground for people to hover exit out, so they use ropes to get down.
And it's stuff like that, well, if it's a little bigger, we do have a chainsaw guy usually at the front, and he'll cut, a good 6 foot off, and then we can work in between, keep all that out, and yeah, keep going along our way. The chainsaw guy comes in very, very handy.
Picking up on Brian's lead, I decided to travel 700 kilometers. That's around 500 miles. To spend some time with the helicopter rappellers. The first thing they did was to show me how to construct a fire break, Aussie style.
Faster, you bastards, faster! Come up!
Rappel firefighter. We're assigned to the fires that are off the tracks, out in the beaten nowhere, and yeah, they call us dopes on ropes for short. We're the guys who sling over the edge and free fall our way to the bottom. Not quite free fall, but get into the remote fires and tackle them.
Country Fire Authority of Victoria, or the CFA for short, is one of the largest community safety and emergency service organizations in the world. Supported by a relatively small base of career personnel and an extensive network of around 60,000 volunteers. I've heard it said that the top 3 most dangerous urban interface areas in the world are Southern California, the south of France, and right here in Victoria on the fringe of the huge city of Melbourne.
Community Fireguard started on the 10th anniversary of Ash Wednesday, and it came from an acknowledgement basically that a community, to be prepared for what they might experience of fire, doesn't need to be told what to do. They need to understand what they've got to do. Doesn't need to be told this is what's going to happen. They need to understand their own risk. They've got to own their own risk. So the whole idea of Community Fireguard was that we had to meet people in their own homes, in their own local risk environment. We had to dress rather informally, and we had to talk in their language. It's a very, very slow process in the end, but we go through fire behaviour, so they don't need me to tell them what's going to happen here. They could identify for me what their dangers are. And it may take years for them to move through this process, but at the end you end up with a program which is filled with people who are annoyingly enthusiastic about it all, but really know what they're talking about. And in the last 10 years, well 7 years or so, we've never lost a house in a Community Fireguard area to bushfire.
Time sure flies. I filmed this short series on Victorian fires nearly 20 years ago, and since then, for the last 35 years, I've been specializing in fire aviation, ground operations, and prescribed fires, and I've served on teams all over the United States and in many parts of Australia. You could say I've grown up on frontiers, and I discovered there that sometimes the most educated voices and the best to learn from are those quiet voices from inside our fields that rarely get a chance to be heard. These are the kind of voices I'll be introducing you to across this series, and they'll come from both the United States and Australia. I see this channel and series as a place for the global sharing of fire knowledge and learning. Over this series I'll be introducing you to a number of fire and other experts whom I strongly believe each has something important we can all learn from. This video series isn't about me. This video series is for all of us in our natural environments. And with this channel as a place where everyone can come to have an equal opportunity to learn about wildfire and the subjects that are connected to it. This is a human side of fire, and these voices should be heard by everyone, and together they will better tell the story of man's various connections to wildfire. Welcome to Talking Wildfire, a smoke jumper on the road in Australia and the United States. We are doing this video series for all of you. If you like what we're doing, please give us a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe. Welcome to Talking Wildfire, my friends.